Today is our final day in building your foundation for selling success. To be sure that you're fully caught up, we've provided links below to the first 2 sessions. Point number 1 was understanding your real job description, which isn't selling, but rather helping people decide, connecting with them, and properly qualifying and sorting them by priority. Point number 2 was on the 3 C's of positioning: confidence, not convincing, and control. And our final aspect to building your foundation for selling success, and this is where most of the magic to becoming influential and persuasive in selling emanates from. And that is approaching it all with the right mindset. There are 4 points to having the right mindset in selling. The first is having the right intention. You are selling to human beings who have desires, wants, needs, fears, feelings, ambitions. It's oh too easy to get lost in the grind of running all the numbers and forgetting this important point. I confess this myself inside the pages of the Entrepreneur Rollercoaster book. In my selling real estate days, I would occasionally meet with a man who became an influential mentor to me in the industry. This man was the most skilled salesperson that I knew at the time, and I wanted to always hear anything he had to say. So one day we met for lunch, and I expressed my frustration with my latest sales numbers. They just weren't where I know they could be, and I couldn't figure out why. He asked, "Well, let me see your prospect list." And I pulled out a file and I pushed it across the table at him. At the top, in thick black marker, I had written "hit list." He raised an eyebrow, pushed the folder right back to me, and he said, "Well, I can see your problem." "What's that?" I asked. Did I not have enough prospects? Was it not enough of the right type of prospects? What was it? He said, "No one wants to be your next hit, Darren. When you label them that way, you think of them that way. And when you think of people that way, you treat them that way. They know it and can feel it. They can tell." I didn't have the wrong prospects. I had the wrong mindset, which transmitted the whole message. I should have been focusing on how I was going to help them, their family, their financial situation, getting their kids into better schools, moving into a better neighborhood, getting that dream home that they've always wanted, and then easing their worries, their fears, and their anxieties, not seeing them as my next hit. Do you see the distinction? The second part of having the right mindset is expectation. One of my mentors, Paul J. Meyer, one of the greatest salespeople who ever lived. No one has sold more personal development material than he did, more than 2 billion worldwide. He explained to me that before he walked into any sales call, he would imagine that there was a big red carpet rolled out in front of their door in his honor. And he'd see trumpeters and dancing girls hired just to celebrate his arrival. He'd imagine the client enthusiastically greeting him as if he were their once lost son, returning home from the war. He'd see them sitting across the kitchen table, excited and eager to buy what he had to offer them. He'd imagine them welled up with tears in their eyes and hugging him with deep gratitude because his solution was so meaningful and vital to their family. And as he said, because he imagined and believed it during the actual meeting, he acted accordingly. And then, because he was acting accordingly, they responded in kind. What you expect to create is what you end up creating. So what are you expecting when you pick up the phone for a sales call? Are you expecting them to be difficult or to say no immediately? If so, they will. If you're expecting them to be excited and happy to hear from you, then that will transmit and you'll have a much better chance at receiving that response. Whatever we're thinking about is what comes about. Good or bad, our thoughts have a powerful effect on our lives. The third aspect of mindset is to be friendly. I know this sounds obvious and ridiculous that I would have to point this out, but you've received those phone calls, the ones from salespeople who don't even sound real. They are so robotic. If you're like me, you just hang up immediately. Why? Because if they don't care to be friendly, we certainly don't feel compelled to be friendly back. We are all human beings. We want to hear a friendly voice. We only trust those we deem friendly. Remember, people buy from people they like. So remember to be likable. The fourth and final part of having the right mindset is to be firm. You can be both friendly and firm, particularly if you have the right expectation in your head and the right intention in your heart. Every time I think about this point, I always remember an attorney that I had to deal with many eons ago when I sold a business to the before mentioned mentor, Paul J. Meyer. Steve Bright was his name. He was Texas friendly. If you ever met somebody from the inner sanctum of Texas, you know what I mean. He was one of those guys who greet you with a bright smile, extend one hand to greet you and have the other hand on their holster. Not really, but kind of feels like that. Steve was always calm, disturbingly calm. The kind of guy who can look you deadpan in the eye without shifting his gaze. In as few words as possible, he'd tell you what was going to happen. If you countered, he would maintain that perfect eye contact, flawlessly friendly smile, and say, "No. That's it. Nothing further. Just no." How do you even react to that? You don't. Your whole system just ends up involuntarily saying, "Okay." The key here is that firmness has to be accompanied by friendliness. You can't just be firm. That makes you a jerk. Friendliness without firmness makes you flighty. But friendliness with firmness, that's hard to resist. So there you have it. All 3 points to build your foundation for selling success. To work on what you picked up today, which of these mindsets do you need to work on the most? 1, having the right intentions in your heart to help versus sell before you even start. Having the right expectations in your head about how you will be received and how it will go. 3, is it bringing in more of your humanness and being more friendly in your sales exchanges? Or 4, is it being friendly and firm, being more unwavering in your conviction and position? Tell us which in the comments below. Okay, let's have a little post-Darren Daily discussion here. I hope that you have gathered some key ideas over the past 3 days. One of the biggest, I hope, is that you change your perspective from selling to one of helping. You want to see what you are selling as a sacred mission, one assigned to you from above. If what you are bringing to the world, to the lives of people, is valuable and makes a positive difference, then indeed it is a worthy crusade. I want you to become a rock star in your marketplace. That is my goal. The first way that we do that is by having you show up here each morning. That way we can keep your mind inspired and your heart emboldened. Then you also need real skills. You can't just be motivated. You have to also be skilled. Jim Rohn would say, if a guy's an idiot and you motivate him, now what do you have? Right, a motivated idiot, the most dangerous type. So, where do you go to get the training you need to develop the real skills that you need? It's not easy, let me tell you. It has been my job for 25 plus years to curate the entire success industry, and that is all their resources as well, to weed out the weak, the weird, and the downright dangerous advice. One of my superpowers is to vet, filter, and distill down the very best of a complex body of knowledge into the most essential, the stuff that really matters, and then repackage it into a learning framework so that anyone in any industry can apply it. It's kind of like taking the entire produce section of a grocery store and then running it all through a giant juicer. So instead of having to chew your way through the mountain of fruits and vegetables yourself, which would take you a lifetime and leave you with a sore jaw and a bloated belly, you can just get the extracted, compressed juice with all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, antioxidants that you need in concentrated form. That is mixed to be tasty, easy to drink, more absorbable to your body, and you can actually utilize all the nutrition that you're taking in. That is what I did for you inside the eFastPass program. I distilled down the 4 most essential skills to be successful as an entrepreneur or as an intrapreneur, somebody that is looking to rise within an organization. The critical skills of selling, recruiting, leadership, and productivity. I took each of those vast bodies of knowledge and compressed them down into the most essential elements for mastery in each skill. In 12 half-gallon servings, in 12 modules of juice, you will get the most concentrated, nutrient-dense, high-octane extract of what it takes to thrive in business. If you run your own business or if you are a leader within a growing business. This morning, since you concluded this selling series with me and are with me right now, I want to offer you a $500 scholarship towards membership into the eFastPass program. If you want to step out of the shadows of just being a passive spectator watching Darren Daily to an active achiever, engaged in the skills and training needed to advance your results and success, I invite you to join me and my A-team into a new eFastPass class that we're kicking off this week. Don't worry, even if you cannot begin the exciting ride inside the eFastPass curriculum right away or this week, once you are a member, you get lifetime access to all the modules. This allows you to go through it on your own schedule, on your own time, and continue to go back through it over and over again at your leisure. So, this is me extending my hand to you with a $500 scholarship in it. I can help you. I can guide you. I can elevate you to the next level of success in the business world if you will just step forward and join me. The choice is yours. You are free to accept or reject my open hand. Know that either way, I'm doing my part to be your trusted ally, the one you can always turn to, the one that will always be there for you all along your heroic journey in life. I hope that you will take my hand and join me.